Is Dr. Priscilla Akoth. We continue the conversation on New Year resolutions and goals, setting them. What are they? What hinders us? And all that information is coming to us live right now. So if you have a question or comment, please send it. Have you set New Year resolutions, by the way? Or did you stop like someone said? And what are they? Are they achievable? So far, we've talked about a couple of things. Do you feel like you're meeting the few things that we have talked about with Daktari, or you need to go back and revise? Let us know. 20933 is our SMS line. 0717400555 is our WhatsApp number. And of course, at Hope FM Live across social media. I have received some of your questions and we'll be reading them, and comments as well. We'll be reading them as we go along with the program. But let's get back to Daktari. We left it at areas. We were talking about areas in which we need to focus on as we set our resolutions.
Yes.
And we mentioned 4.
Yes.
Spiritual, family, physical, and emotional.
Yes.
Which is the 5th?
Oh, the 5th is education.
Okay.
You talked about education earlier on when you were telling us what Park University offers.
Right.
Yeah, so education, human beings were wired to learn new things. That's why when a child is born, they keep learning new things. So we are encouraged to keep learning every single day. And if you open your eyes and your ears, you realize that you learn something new every single day. So we can choose to, like at the beginning of the year like this, we can look at our lives and ask, what areas of personal development do we need to concentrate on? Do we need to maybe go get that diploma, degree, or maybe that course, that certification? So that's an area that we can set a goal on. We can set a resolution on that area and be very specific as well. Like we've said, looking at the 7 different areas that we've looked at. Is it specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time bound? Can you manage the expectations around it? And do you have a revelation, a word that can encourage you through it?
Okay.
So that's education number 5.
Let me ask, Dr. as you're setting your goals or resolutions around this area of education.
Yes.
Now that you're a life coach, please help us. What should one be looking at in the sense of what should inform what you pick as an area of, development?
Okay, yeah, this is a big one. Again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier on. Do you understand yourself? Do you know your areas of passion? What do you like doing? What comes a little bit easier? And I'm not saying that we just go for the easy things. What area of education do you want to pursue? All of us have an area that we are interested in. And I'm not saying that we just go for the things we're interested in. It also has to make sense. It has to be realistic. It has to be something that can as well give us a return on our investment.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you're not going to do something that you're just going to sit on. So there's need for seeking guidance, especially when you need to make a major decision, like especially in terms of education. You can seek guidance from career coaches, life coaches like ours. You can seek guidance from your parents or the adults around you. They'll definitely guide you because they have an idea of what areas are doing well or what areas people can do well in. I know, again, as parents can be very overbearing when it comes to helping their children choose careers. Because sometimes we want to live the dreams or our own dreams through our children. But the world has changed so much, so we need to be open-minded and understand or listen to our children. Our children today are quite well informed. There's a lot of information out there. So when they come up with maybe some new career, can we be open-minded and just do a little bit more research and look at, is it workable? Is it something that makes sense? Yeah, so we need to be open-minded, basically, when it comes to issues of education and choosing careers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Let's carry on.
Okay. Yeah, so after education, we have material.
Okay.
Yes, investments or finances. That's a major one because we're in a society where, of course, we need money to live. Yeah, so what are your money goals? What are your finance goals this year? What are your investment goals? Do they make sense? Are they realistic? Are they measurable? Yeah, so again, it depends on you understanding where you are at. We talked earlier of building a double-story house in 1 month or 2 months. Does that make sense with your financial situation right now? It's good to aim high. It's good to set the goals. But do you set a plan on how you're going to get there? Yeah, so we have to be realistic in how we're setting our goals. And we're not saying that you set small goals. You can set the big ones, but as long as you have the plans that are going to get you there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And then one that is very dear to my heart, leisure.
Okay. We should set resolutions around leisure.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely, we should. This is something that we ignore. And I'm looking at it from the perspective of self-care. We may overwork ourselves, get ourselves to burn out, and we will not be effective in whatever it is that we're trying to do. So we have to create goals around self-care. What can we change in terms of how we are taking care of ourselves, in terms of how we are entertaining ourselves in this new year? Yeah, because we often don't think it's something even to talk about. Yeah, but it is.
It's always something that that one would say, well, I have this extra amount of money, let me just do something. It's never part of the plan.
It should be. It really should be. And we should be intentional about self-care, because when we don't become intentional, that's how we get hurt in the process. That's how we become overly stressed. We get into maybe mental illness, depression, anxiety, because our stress levels go very high. We get into burnout, and so we're not able to achieve the other goals that we set because we did not take care of ourselves. Yeah, because this physical body, it's interesting how we schedule our cars going to the mechanics.
Yeah, for service.
Yes, after either 3,000 kilometers or is it 3 months, depending on what comes first. But we don't do the same for our bodies. Yeah, so we should plan self-care for our body, and it should be specific. It should be things like, when I get home, I switch off my phone, because whatever is happening in the office, I'll pick it up tomorrow. I don't bring work home, things like that. That is self-care. When I reach home, it's my family time, it's my resting time. Switch off the rest of the world. I don't get with the phone to the bedroom, for example. Those are difficult to achieve in today's world. Yeah, things like that. What do we do over the weekend? Is it when we have filled our day with so many things that are maybe not even necessary? Do we even sit down just to rest? Just rest without feeling guilty? Can you take a nap over the weekend and just say that every other weekend I just stay at home and take a nap? Just rest. Or every weekend we fill it with things that may not even be are helpful to us and maybe harming us. So the weekend comes and Monday is here and we're dreading Monday. Then we can't wait for Friday. Then we do the same thing again and again. So we need to plan. We need to make resolutions around leisure and around self-care. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's food for thought. For many of us. Okay.
Yes.
The last one.
The last one is creativity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Tell me about
creativity. We human beings, like I said, we are wired to learn new things. We're also wired to come up with new ideas. It can be a new idea, a business idea. It can be an investment idea. So this is why it would be nice at the beginning of the year. What new thing am I coming up with this year? What creative thing? I can learn
Some people say they're not creative, but it's cut for a specific group of people.
No, we all have our ways of showing creativity. Yeah, we probably just need to find it.
Okay.
Yeah, we all have our ways. We can choose to maybe learn to play a musical instrument. We can maybe start to write, or we can something that we are creating from within us. Yes, it's enriching to know that we are creating something. Yeah, so this is something that we need to think about. I know, like you're saying, most people think that we're not able, I'm not wired to be creative. That is what some people know, but we need to find out. It doesn't have to be commercial,
right?
You can do it just for leisure, but just creating something new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the last.
What is it? Give us an example. I'm just thinking of creativity.
Of creativity. I'll give you an example of one thing I saw my daughters doing. They were knitting.
Oh.
Knitting, crocheting. Yeah. It's something you can do. You can choose to knit a bag just because you can. Yeah. You can choose to maybe make I remember in high school we were stitching flowers on tablecloths, things like that. You can look for something creative. You can learn a new instrument, like we've said. You can start something new, like even maybe climbing small hills. Something new that you've not tried before.
Okay.
Yeah. Just trying something new.
Okay.
Yeah, you can join a choir and sing.
Right. Yeah. You can bake. Okay. Yeah. But you said it, I'm really thinking about many things that one could actually do.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
They're not exactly your area of specialty, quote unquote, but it's something you can actually try out.
Yeah, you can try. You can learn. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Those are 8 areas. Thank you so much. I don't know if you have written them down or if you have resolutions around them, but you can go ahead and tell us if you have resolutions around any of these areas. Let's see some of the questions that have come in. We have okay, this one is just a comment. You say, I am more educated now that I listened about resolutions and goals, and thank you so much. You say, about education, I'm old, but I did a course last year which is important in my small business. Age. What do you say about age when it comes to setting resolution?
Age should not stand in your way. Yeah. Like they say, age is just a number.
Right.
Yeah. I've seen people who are pursuing even their postgraduate degree at very advanced ages. Yeah. So age should not be anything that stands in your way. Do what you want to do. Go for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Thank you. Let's get to some of these other questions that we have now. This one says, well, you asked what is a resolution, Oscar, and we did answer that. But then he further says, besides, he says, is it a must that one should have resolutions every other year? And I think we Or budgeting and accounting can lead to one's growth, particularly a person like me who has a young family, an average salary, and my wife has no job.
Yeah, thank you for your question. We answered earlier on, and we said that it's not a must to have New Year resolutions every other year, because it depends on so many factors. We talked about, there could be so many factors that one is dealing with. But we also saw the reasons why we may need to set New Year resolutions and set our goals. We talked about things like it gives you direction, it saves you time, it reduces your stress, it puts you in the seat of what it is that you want to achieve, and gives you also a sense of accomplishment. Now, he talks about budgeting and accounting. That's actually an aspect of financial goal setting. Because when you budget, you know you have this amount of money and these are your needs, so you are very specific. This is what is going to go to this is what is going to go to this. So that's an aspect of goal setting with your finances. So that's really good.
It's one of the aspects.
It's one of the aspects. Yes.
So when it comes to goal setting, it's not just about your finances, just like we said. There are other things that you should look at. Okay, and someone is asking us to repeat these items now. Quickly: spiritual, family, physical, emotional, education, material or investments, leisure, and creativity. And just in case I'm too fast for you, please go to our website, to our Facebook page at Hope FM Live. You will be able to watch the video again, or the YouTube channel as well. Okay, let's go to the other question. This one says about self-awareness. Told you we were going to get a question on self-awareness. Can the MBTI test help a person in knowing oneself? I am really loving this session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. The MBTI is a Myers-Briggs test, personality test, and it just gives you an aspect of yourself, which is your personality. And there's so many other tests that test personalities. There are different ways of looking at personality, the more detailed one. I would also encourage the person asking the question to visit a professional, so that they can get like a more professional analysis of their personality. It will just give you a glimpse of what your personality is, and you may not even understand fully, so I would encourage them to seek the help of somebody else to help them understand their personality. But that's just one aspect of the awareness, of the self-awareness. There's so many other areas when it comes to self-awareness.
All right. Do you want to mention something?
Okay, so
this is an area you're passionate about. Sorry, I'm throwing you off.
No, it's all right. I'll gladly talk about that. Now, I mentioned earlier I'm working on a workbook, a self-awareness workbook. Actually, I had an online session where I had some people come in and we went through the workbook. Now, some of the areas that I've found that are very important in helping us understand ourselves is knowing our strengths, our weaknesses, the opportunities around us, and the threats. So if you can get that, you get to understand yourself a little bit better, because growing up in our African setup, we are often not allowed. There are few people who are fortunate enough to grow up maybe with the parents who have a better, I don't know, for lack of a better word, maybe a better understanding. So they're allowed to express themselves and they're allowed to really be who they are. But majority of us, you are told, you're supposed to just receive, right? So there's a part of us that doesn't get to grow. So we grow up not knowing ourselves. So when we meet life out here, we're like, okay. So we realize that we get to learn ourselves under very difficult circumstances. So such exercises can help you to know your strengths. Do you even know your strengths? Do you know your weaknesses as a person?
We're used to thinking that SWOT analysis is for organization.
Oh yeah, SWOT analysis is not just for organization. You can do it for your own self, and you can do it for all these areas of your life.
Interesting.
By the way, you can see where you have your weaknesses, your strengths in all these areas of your life. Then you build, and what opportunities are around you, and what threats, and how you can leverage on your strengths to overcome your weaknesses. Yeah, so that's how I use it with my clients. Yes, so that's one. The other beautiful tool that I use with my clients is called Johari Window, which helps you to understand your blind spots.
Okay.
So that's another way that you get to understand who you are. Where people keep telling me, you're like this, you're like this. You're like, no, I'm not like that. No, that's not me. So when 2-3 people tell you something, then you need to stop and ask yourself, could there be something there that I'm missing? Yeah. So that's Johari Window. The other thing I look at with my clients when I'm working on self-awareness is identity. Where do you draw your identity from? And today it's even more important because the world calls on us to draw our identity from its standards. So you as a person, where do you draw your identity from? Yeah, and this messes up especially our young people today, and even adults. A lot of people are struggling with their identity. Yeah. Then we move on. We look at values. Values is another thing that very few people are talking about today. People are just generalizing things. Yeah. So what value systems are you brought up with? Is integrity a thing for you? Is honesty, kindness, things like that? Are those things that are big for you? Or if what do they say? The end justifies the means, what life mantras do you live by? Then of course we end that by now setting goals, because now you get to understand yourself a little bit better. So that's the journey I take my clients through when I'm working on self-awareness.
A journey?
It is a journey.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Now this one just said, oh wow, I totally love this discussion. Thank you. And then we have one who says, okay, just before I get to the work balance question, there's one who said, I stopped making goals for myself because I end up frustrated when I don't meet them because they seem impossible. And I made a decision that I'm going to wait on God to give me according to His will.
Okay.
Please talk to her or him.
All right. I can understand. I can see where that person is coming from. A lot of us get frustrated when we set goals and we don't achieve them. I know 2022, I set some goals that I didn't achieve, and I was very mad at the end of 2022, and I was like, why is this not happening? This is what I said. Why is this not coming through? But I had to calm myself down and look at it that, okay, what did I achieve with regard to this specific goal? I did ABC. I was able to move from point A to point B. Now, how am I moving from point B to C and to D to get me to the end goal? And I know I was really upset. So I can understand that. I could have said, forget that project, forget it. I'm not doing it anymore. It failed, Yeah, so it's very easy for us to do that. And God, of course, is there, and we pray that He does things, and we pray that He gives us things according to His will, according to His riches, and He will give us, and He is a giver.
Amen.
Okay. Yeah. But on the other hand, God will not. We only know Elijah that he sent the birds to take to feed him in the brook where he was. most of the times, of course, we need to get out there and work and do something.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
We need to get out there and do something. God will not bring the bread on your doorstep.
Yeah. It's interesting because in the morning program they were talking about just about this conversation.
Oh, really?
Not exactly, but yeah. And they were saying God will bless the work of your hands. That's scripture. So I just remembered that when you said that. Get something to do.
Yes. It's even written that those who are not working should not eat.
Right.
Yeah. We're not saying that God cannot do that. He can still do that. He can still do that.
Right.
I was listening to a story the other day that made me laugh, where an atheist was listening to a woman praying that God brings grocery and to her. Then the atheist went and bought the grocery and brought to the door of the woman, and the woman came out and was praising God. And the atheist came out and he was like, "You pray to God that is not even there. I'm the one who brought the grocery." Then the woman was like, "Yeah, God used you to bring the grocery." So God can still do that.
Yeah.
But we as abled people, when you can, with whatever God has given you, we need to get out there and do something with it.
Right.
Now, to talk about some of the barriers to achieving our goals that maybe could have played a part, that plays a part in our mind, all of us at one point or another. Because I know that not everybody who sets all their goals get to achieve all of them. If we achieve some, we don't achieve some. Sometimes we overachieve, sometimes we underachieve. So we need to watch out for certain barriers. We have both internal barriers and external barriers.
Okay.
Yes. So we some of this maybe could have played a role in us not achieving the goals that we have set.
Okay.
Yes.
What are some of these barriers?
Now, let me talk about the barriers as what ifs.
Okay.
Let me generalize them as what ifs in our lives.
Okay.
Yeah. We start asking this question of, what if I don't get this? What if this doesn't? What if I don't lose the 10 kilos? Yeah. What if I don't? This is so hard. And it is hard. Working out is painful. It is so painful. It is. The first few weeks before your body gets used to it, it is absolutely painful.
Right.
Yeah. So what if you can, that's the point you can start asking yourself, what if I don't lose the 10 kilos by October? Will I manage this pain? This is too much. So that's here. What's the mental? Of course it has to be painful because you're pushing your muscles out of their comfort zone. Whatever goal you've set out to achieve, there's some hard work that has to go into it for you to achieve it. Could be having long nights, sitting down, working hard, digging hard. It could be, whatever it is. There's a lot of work that has to go in for you to achieve the goals that you have set. So that's why I'm calling them to the what ifs. So it can be either internal or external. The internal ones are mostly the thoughts that we have in our heads.
Okay.
Yeah. The thoughts that you have about your goals. And the good thing is we're in direct control of the internal barriers. But most of the times we don't know that we're in control of those internal barriers that can stand in our way of achieving our goals. So it could be things like the thoughts you have about your goals. You look at that goal, like if you bunch it all together, it looks so huge. You're like, how is this even going to be possible? It could be personal fears that we have within us that have been built over the years because of the experiences that we've had, the things that we've gone through, the exposures that we've had, the failures that we've had. It could be lack of motivation. It could be issues to do with self-esteem. It could be our mindset generally. So this is where now people like us, the coaches, come in to help you shift your mindset so that you can understand that is something you have some control over. Yeah, it depends on how you're looking at it. And then the external barriers, we may not have much control over them, but we can plan around them. There are things like money, time,
Yeah.
other people's reactions, the resources that we need to achieve our goals, and even the results. Sometimes we put in the work, but the result that comes out is like, oh my, come on. Yeah, so that can discourage you from next year setting a goal, because you looked at the work you put in, the results that came out, and you're like, nah, it's not worth it. I'm not doing this again. So these barriers, we can work around them. Whatever comes in your way, the breaks that come, the barriers that come, we need to find just a way of working around them, and we can use the professionals in our environment to help us overcome these barriers if we realize that these are the things that have stood in our way of achieving the goals that we set out.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Akoth. We have another question here. This one says, about leisure, for those in business, it becomes a challenge. Please comment on work-life balance, because it's a big challenge. Thank you, Millicent. You say it's such a good conversation.
Thank you very much. Work-life balance, and I was in business.
You were?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I was in business for.
What an experience.
I've been in business for 14 years, so I can identify.
Okay.
When you're in business, from my own personal experience, you're basically employed 24/7. You're working. You're working. When you go to bed, you're thinking. So it's more difficult than when you're employed. You can leave work in the office, but we need to train ourselves and treat our businesses like the businesses that they are. Something that I once read, that we need to set our businesses free so that they can run without us. Because otherwise you're just employed in your business. So
wow. Wow, that's ouch. Oh
yes. So you're just
say that again.
We need to set ourselves free from our businesses, so that our business. So basically, what this person was saying, I think it was Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think that's where I picked it from. We need to build systems.
Right.
So that our businesses can run even when we are not there. That is when it's a business.
Otherwise, you're employed.
You are employed by your business. Yes, that's why it can be very difficult for you, because this is something that you're the one who is holding the reins. So you can't even afford a weekend away. You cannot afford a weekend away, because if you're not there, the business is not running.
Right.
So I would encourage those of us who are getting into business to set systems in place.
Yeah.
Recently, I had somebody visiting from the UK, and her business was running, and she was on holiday.
Oh wow.
And I was like, yes, that's what it's supposed to be like. Yeah. I know it takes a while. I know it's costly to set systems, but that's when it is a business. So that can help you now to do the work-life balance. Because if you don't do the work-life balance, what's going to happen is you're going to burn out. And you will not even be good for your business. You'll be yelling at your employees left, right, and center. You'll be yelling at your clients. Then in the end, your business is not going to flourish the way you want it to.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Okay.
Yes.
Well answered.
I hope that is helpful.
It is. I believe it is. All right. Let's see. One more question just before we take the final remarks. All right. Let me just run over that quickly. Sorry about that. Okay. This one is not related to what we are talking about, so let's hear your final remarks, Dr. Akoth, before we close it.
Yeah, so basically we've gone through how we can set goals that are workable.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know the fear is we set goals, then we dump them by the end of January or sometime in February. So let's encourage ourselves to set small bite-sized goals.
Yeah.
That we can achieve, that we can do something towards every single day. Remember, I talked about a break. Even if you just put one break, it counts.
It does.
It counts. Even if you're just able to resist that. I love my tea very sweet.
Yeah.
So sugar is one of my weaknesses. So even if you're just able to reduce your sugar from 3 spoons to 1 spoon,
Right.
that's a brick that you have built towards your health.
Yeah.
So when we are setting goals are important. We saw the reasons why the goals are important. So let's not run away from setting goals.
Right.
And let's not feel like we want to set huge goals. We can start small. We can even do 1 month goals. We can even do weekly goals.
Right.
We can start from weekly, then we move to monthly, then we move to 3 quarterly, then we move to half a year, and then we move to the year.
Right.
We can start small and then we go big. So again, finally, know what exactly you want. Understand who you are. Know what you want. Write down your goals. Believe in yourself. Remind yourself about the goal
Yeah.
constantly when you're forgetting, and tell yourself that you're doing the best that you can. Encourage yourself.
Yeah.
Be passionate about the goals that you have set. If you're finding a challenge, get a partner. Like, especially like physical health.
Yeah.
Oh, you need a partner for that.
Yeah.
Get a partner for that. I've seen it work very well. I've said break it down into bite-sized chunks, and then don't forget to applaud yourself and reward yourself for every goal you achieve. Award yourself.
Yeah.
Reward yourself, even if it's just buying a bar of chocolate for yourself.
Yeah.
Because that tells the brain that we've achieved something. We appreciate. You appreciate yourself. And then I talked about staying positive all the time. May be difficult, but let's try to stay as positive as possible.
Right.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Akoth.
Thank you very much.
We are blessed by you being here.
Amen.
And we trust God to help us through this year. Someone just said, Winnie said, I'm blessed to listen to the program. Honestly, I don't know how to start the year, but I'm praying God to help my creativity and work on it, and to have His will done in my life. Amen. After all is said and done, God will help us, right?
Absolutely.
God is faithful.
God is faithful, and He is there. He is there for us.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're very much welcome. Thank you for having me.
Most welcome.
Okay.
All right. Dr. Priscilla Akoth answering our questions and helping us just, unpack this story of New Year resolutions. And I pray that the conversation was helpful to you. And you can refer to it later on. I see people still were asking about the areas, the 8 areas. So please refer to it on at Hope FM Live across social media. That is on Facebook and YouTube. And you can, watch it as many times as you can and share it with as many people as you possibly can. My time with you is gone. In a short while, we will have the latest in the news watch, and then after that, Maniaila on Shangilia. But I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, and tomorrow is that day that we talk about real people, real God, real stories, and real change on Profile. So make time to be with me tomorrow, same time and same place. God bless you and see you. Bye-bye. But before I leave,